Hi, and welcome back to BallySpring Farm. Now I've got something exciting to show you today. AK and Fury are just about to come by and pick us up. So AK is driving today, as you can see. This is an old 1970s Range Rover, the height of luxury off-roading in its day. Although known now, of course, to be extremely unreliable with age. Just picking up Fury, this is his place. He's also got one of these Range Rovers, as you can see, the FMGs for Fury Machine Gaming. So I've got those two in the car. Now they're coming to pick me up. And I've got a message from Aidan. I'll have a look at that later on. I know there's a way to turn that off, but I've never investigated how to go about that. So, never mind, it is what it is. Yeah. Okay. So just picking me up from here. Cool. Okay. Now we're off to see something very exciting. We're off to visit Russell and Nikki. Now that's going to sound really strange, I realise, but let me explain. So, I am 55 years old, and in New Zealand the age of retirement is 65. That's when you can go on the super. Although having said that, I'm planning on working until I'm 67, because I'm a couple of years older than my wife, and I don't see any point in retiring before she does, since we're planning on doing a wee bit of overseas travel and things after we retire. We want to kind of cruise, and maybe also on a riverboat cruise down the Rhine. So I'm planning on working until I'm 67 rather than 65, but that's only 12 years away. So we're starting to sort of talk about retirement now and make plans for retirement already. And one of the things we're considering doing, because the house we're in, we're definitely not going to be in that one when we retire. It's way too big for us when it's just the two of us. And this is only one of the things we're considering, so I'm not absolutely guaranteeing yet that this is what is going to happen, but we're talking about maybe buying a house in Greytown in the Wairarapa. Now, unless you're a Kiwi, you won't know how to spell Wairarapa, so I will put it in the comments for this video, so if you want to Google Greytown, have a look at it, you can. Now, what I quite like about Greytown, apart from the fact it's a nice, quiet, countryish little place, well, it really is a country place, you could drive through it in about 2 minutes, blinking and miss it just about. It's about an hour's drive from where we live currently, and we don't want to be too far away from where we live currently, because at least at the moment all of our kids live within KIwi of where we do, and if we've got grandchildren one day, which we'd both like to have grandchildren one day, but they're certainly not going to be in the very near future, but if we do have grandchildren, we'd like to be able to have them come and stay at our place overnight and things, so we don't want to live too far away from where our kids live. So so that's one of the things that appeals about Greytown. Another thing is, it's a very old town. All the buildings are very old and things. So quite frankly, if you drove through Greytown and all of the cars were replaced by horses and carts instead of cars, they really wouldn't look at a place as you drove through the town. So I would recommend you Google it, and I'll put the spelling of it in the comment of this video. But if we do move somewhere like that, we're looking at buying a house something along the lines of what's right here. So this is the Russell and Nikki house of the future sort of thing. So for Nikki, she wants a place that's single story. So this house has a fairly big footprint. It's single story, and of course it's got a double garage for our two MX-5s that you see there, the matching twins. And on these ones, I've even, if I put on my torch for a second, got the matching number plates. So that one is her car, it's got TOP LS5, and that one is my one, which is T0P LS5. So the only difference in number plates is letter O versus the number 0. But one of the things that I'd quite like to do, if we move to Greytown, we'll just wander around the back of the yard here for a second. I love the big old American barns. Okay, so something like that. And you can build them in New Zealand. I have seen a few big old American barns. We'd like a wee bit of land so that we can put a big old American barn on there. Now the reason we want to do that, and I will show you that, we'll just jump out of here for a second. I'll show you. So this is the only way I know how to jump out of the video without stopping the recording or anything, so just do it that way. We sort of like have a dream garage of cars we'd like to own, and realistically we're not going to have them all, but it is kind of the dream garage. So if I go into pictures for a second, so there's the, come on, so here's the two that we currently have already, and I imagine we'll still have those two when we retire. I don't think we're going to be selling them anytime soon. The only way I think I'd sell mine is if I got to the stage where I could no longer climb in and out of it because it was just too low, because they are pretty low to the ground. But the club that we belong to, many of the members of that club are well over 65 and still managing to get in and out of theirs. Now, in a perfect scenario, let's say we had a lotto win, and I'll tell you right now, we don't buy lotto tickets. I believe lotto is a tax on people that can't do maths. So I refuse to buy lotto tickets. And I think actually my chance of finding a ticket in the gutter and that ticket being a winning ticket is probably only slightly slimmer than the chance of actually buying a winning ticket in the first place. But if there was a hypothetical lotto win, there's a number of cars we'd want in our dream garage, which would be that big red American barn out the back. So that is a Series 1, and called an NA MX-5. So that's the very first model of MX-5, which had the pop-up headlights. I definitely want one of those in my garage. Now the reason I didn't buy one of those, I bought the NC, which was the third model instead. And the reason I did that is, here's a picture of a guy standing next to an NA, and that guy looks about average height. So you can see the problem straight away. I'm 6'2.5". For me to fit into an NA, the roof has to be down. The top of my head is well above the windscreen there. It's above the windscreen in my car, but it's well above the windscreen on this one. I just cannot really put the roof up at all. But it would make a nice summer day car to take for a spin. Okay, then the next cars that we want in our garage, we want two NDs. A convertible like this, this one's in a colour called Soul Red, and in New Zealand at least, the ND, this is the latest model MX-5, only comes in 4 colours, and this is the only colour of the 4 that looks any good in. So we'd have a convertible one like that. We'd also have an RF, which has the back window goes down and the roof panel lifts out, leaving the buttresses there. So we'd have one of these as well. So we'd have matching NDs, well, almost matching. We'd have a convertible and an RF. The RF here, because it has circular tail lights, so like only single circular, not double circular, with the flying buttresses and the circular tail light, it actually looks a lot like a miniature Corvette from the back, which is quite interesting. Now the roof panel and window on this go down automatically. It's an automatic thing, it's not a manual one. And then the other cars we'd have in our dream garage, so that's enough MX-5s, 4 MX-5s in the dream garage is probably enough. Okay, my wife would love one of these, which would, you can still get them, they are expensive, but she would love one of those, and she'd also love one of those. And we had one of these, not this colour, we had one in blue, but we had a Beetle convertible, which I got for my wife. We only had it for a month, and then we sold it because, to be perfectly honest, it was going to bankrupt us. Now, in New Zealand, if you buy any car that's not Japanese, you're pretty much asking for trouble. So the problem with American cars or European cars in New Zealand is parts are very, very hard to get, and they're very expensive, and they can take a while. So for example, in the Beetle that we had, I closed the driver's door one day, and the window, which was wound down inside the door at the time, just shattered. I didn't slam the door or anything, I just closed it, and the window shattered. Well, and our insurance company was like, well, that's all right, Mr. Whitlock, you've got glass cover, so we can fix the window for free for you. But wouldn't you know it, the convertible Volkswagen Beetle window is different from the hardtop Volkswagen Beetle window, so they were going to have to order a new window from Germany for us. It was only going to be 7 weeks, so you can have a car with no window for 7 weeks. Yeah, right, that doesn't really work too well. And a number of other things went wrong with it too. No engine problems, I must admit the engine didn't miss a beat, but the electric roof kept on stopping, and every time I reset it would just stop again pretty quickly. And although I could put it up manually, my wife couldn't, it was just too heavy. The electric windows would always play up on it, so buying a German car that's 20 years old sort of thing in New Zealand, you're just asking for trouble. The only way I'd recommend that you ever buy a car that's not Japanese if you live in New Zealand is if you're buying it brand new and you're planning on keeping it for a few years until the warranty expires and then you're going to sell it or trade it in as soon as the warranty expires. I would not buy one that's out of warranty. But anyway, so that's our dream garage in real life. A couple of Volkswagen Beetles and 4 MX-5s. You may notice that there's a bit of a theme going there, the old red convertible theme. And if you remember back to when I showed you my garage in Car Mechanic Simulator, you may remember I had the same thing going there, red convertibles. I love red convertibles. But with Farming Simulator, there's only the one MX-5 in this whole game, which is that one that's up in this garage, which is actually the model I own, so that's good. But that's the only MX-5, so I can't have and there's no Volkswagen Beetle convertibles in Farming Simulator, so I can't have my real dream garage. So I've put another dream garage together here instead, which isn't the real one I'd have, but it's just a different one to have. And this is one that I've done, I think, Fury Machine Gaming, AK, and what's his name? I can't think of his name now. PA Plowboy. Yes, I think the 3 of them might all appreciate my dream garage here, so we'll have a look inside of it. So there's a Dodge Charger. I'm going to come back to that one in a second, so I've got a story about that car. There's a Pontiac Trans Am with the black and gold paint job, similar to Bandit, but it's not the right model Trans Am. There's a 302 Boss Mustang. There's a Chevy Impala. There's a Hemi Cuda. Another Dodge Charger, in another colour scheme that I really like. And another Trans Am in another colour scheme that I also really like. Now, interestingly enough, despite the fact that I've got this dream car of American muscle cars, my favourite American muscle car isn't even in this garage, because I can't find one for FS22. My favourite American muscle car is the 3rd generation of Corvette that they made from 1968 to 1982. And I suppose my dream one, there's a problem, because the later ones with the polyurethane bumpers I thought looked nicer, so like the 81, 82 were the nicest looking. But of course 1975 was the last year for the convertible. Now I do note that you can put the later bumpers on the earlier cars to make it look like a later car. So I suppose my dream Corvette would be a 1975 red Corvette Stingray convertible with 1982 front and rear clips on it, so it would look like an 82 Corvette convertible in red, but they never actually made a convertible in red. And I have seen one that someone's done like that before, so I know that it can be done. Okay. Now I told you I was going to tell you a story about the General Lee. So as you know, the General Lee on the roof of it has the Confederate flag. Now, from my reading of it, the Confederate flag doesn't actually stand for slavery and things, but despite the fact it doesn't, a lot of people think it does. And as a result, like 2 days that we have in February, and I'll be going to both of them. I'll try and get some photos of both days to share. They're 1 week apart. We have an all-American car day where people show their American cars off, and we have an all-European car day where it's British cars, Italian cars and things like that. And they're both very, very interesting shows. The American car show is mostly cars like this, modified muscle cars on the whole, with some hot rods. The European car day is a lot of things like TVRs and Triumphs and Minis and Volkswagen and things. Anyway, for the all-American car day, they brought in a rule that you're not allowed any Confederate flags at the American car day, because they used to sometimes people would display them. And in fact, there's even a guy who's got a replica of the General Lee that he often brings along to the American car day. He used to cover the roof up on that on the day, because he's not allowed to have that roof displayed on the car at the all-American car day. So that's the story I had for you about that particular car, the General Lee. If you're as old as I am, you'll remember the TV program. So yes, that's a barn full of dream cars. As I said, that it's not actually the correct dream cars to what I would have in my big red barn, but I couldn't do that in Farming Simulator, so I've got the correct concept here of a nice modern single-storey house to retire in, with a big American red barn out the back with a dream car collection in it, even if I used a bit of poetic license. And also got through here a sheep pen, so I've got some sheep. I like sheep. I'm a Kiwi, of course. I love sheep, and there'll be one for Christmas dinner each year as well, perhaps. And I'll probably put some chickens in here as well, but I haven't got around to that yet. I'll probably have some chickens. I'd like to put a dog in here as well, but I can't, because you can only put one dog house and dog per map. And of course I've got my dog down at the actual main farm, so that's what is going on there. But now, in case you're wondering, this is actually right-hand drive, as it should be for a Range Rover. It's just that the entry and exit points on the left, so the driver's door are stuck on this one, and I know that can be fixed, and I haven't worked out how yet, and it doesn't really worry me. So, oh, hang on, we're going to have a problem here, because this is, although it's a two-way road, it's single lane. So, here we go. No problem. Problem averted. So, yeah, I thought I'd share our retirement home with you, since I've now put that into the map here. And I will now head back to the farm. Oops, meeting another car. So you can see there from the lanes paint on the road, it's definitely a two-way road, even though there's only single car width. There's another map that used to have single width road with two-way traffic, and it had passing bays every so often along the road. That was for, I think it was for FS17, that map. But it might have been 19. So either 17 or 19. And I've never seen that map repeated again, but it was a good map. Okay, we'll just stop here. Okay, we can go because he's turning. All good. Geez, I just thought I'd share that, and now we can get on back. Okay, your driving here is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh, very terrible, shall we say. Okay, that wasn't planned. Apologies for that. Definitely didn't plan to do that at all. Land back on the wheels. So, all's well that ends well, as they say. Okay, if you drop me off at the end of the road here, I might just walk home from here. Thank you very much. And then drop Fury off here. And and head home to this one. Put it back in the shed. Okay, and on that note, I shall say goodbye for now, and I'll catch you all again later. Bye.